Zabi, who's an atheist, him from Michigan. And it sounds like you want to talk about what brought you out of religion and how we deal with religious family. Would you like to expand a little bit on this question?
Yeah, sure. So, uh, I've had I was a theist, and so what happened, I did some research. I watched your shows, and even before that, I was struggling to understand religion and theism. So I did a little bit digging, and then I decided, well, there is no good reason to believe that God exists and that He's all good and all powerful. So what happened? And then I decided to say that, well, I don't believe in such a being or agent. And I spoke with friends and people around me, and so their ideas have their idea about even about me has changed. Not necessarily that I care about like what they think about me, but I'm like, you are a good man. How can you change your idea about someone who, whether it doesn't matter, like if I say that God exists or not, or like what do you get from it? You're a good man. You can be good in regardless, and in your religion or in your perspective, your religion advocates some of it, which not entirely. Some of it advocates for you being kind and good, but why you're not? I mean, what has changed? Why do you see me differently when I can be the same person? I'm the same person. I just happen to not believe an entity or a being that you say is all good when the evidence showed me otherwise. So and to make them understand and talk in a way, it's not going good. So
I definitely empathize with you. And I mean, something that, I mean, this might be discouraging or encouraging depending on how you look at it, but like whether or not they change their mind isn't your fault, which kind of may be discouraging because it means that even if you say everything correctly, it doesn't mean that they're going to change their viewpoint, which is kind of frustrating, but it's kind of relieving in the fact that it means that, you know, you're probably not having a detrimental impact if you don't say everything perfectly. But you can kind of approach the conversation in that way. I find that to be helpful, not only with atheist conversations, but even talking with people about trans rights, saying like, I'm the same person I was yesterday. I just have different reasons now for doing the things that I do. And if you want to talk about being a good person, a great way is to say that now you're doing good things for the sake of benefiting humanity, for helping the people around you, and for being a contributing member of your community. Whereas maybe beforehand you did good things because you were told to do good things, or because you were threatened of a punishment if you didn't do good things. And I think that's something that people might be able to more easily understand. Like, I know a lot of people bring up this example of if you're sitting in a restaurant and you've got your children sitting there with you, and one child is behaving because they know that they would rather not other people be loud and annoying, and that person's probably doing better than the child that only stays quiet because they were told you're going to be punished if you get home, if you're loud and annoying. So maybe using examples like that can help, but it might take them a while to understand that you're the same person, and it might, unfortunately, it might seem like you're constantly demonstrating to them that you're the same person and like trying to constantly be on your best behavior around them. And I totally empathize with that. But I want you to know that, like, they may not ever understand your perspective on that. But I do think trying to approach it from a place of empathy and understanding that they might not know any other atheists. They might really believe that this is you becoming a worse person. So maybe be patient with them, and hopefully they'll be convinced. But there's no guarantee about that. Jimmy, do you have any thoughts?
Sure. Quick closing comments. I agree wholeheartedly with everything Ben just said. I would say approach it delicately, and don't do what I did when I realized that I didn't believe anymore and kind of lash out at the world around me because I was angry. That I had kind of just believed something that I felt wasn't true anymore, and I felt like my life could be different. It's a process for us to change and adapt and accept our new realities. But in order to bring the world around us into that new reality, just approaching it delicately and understanding that this could be a difficult change for some people is an advantage to have. Kill them with kindness is I think a good approach.
Any thoughts on that, Zabi?
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's I have one more question.
Yeah, go for it.
With me particularly, the people that are so dear to me, I did not tell them. So I've been atheist for a very long time now, like more than a couple of years, more than like 3-4 years. So I don't live with them. They're in a different country. But for them, I understand if like they ask me or they talk to me, oh, do you pray? Why? And I say, well, guess what? I do. When I don't, it's just because I don't want to crush them because they wholeheartedly believe that an entity and they would worry about me, and they believe in hell, and then they believe that, okay, if you don't, then you know what I mean? It's kind of like, is that the right approach, you think?
I think it depends on kind of what you want out of this relationship, and you're going to have to determine what risks you want to take and are willing to take for certain aspects of this relationship. I know probably, like, and this probably the ideal situation would be where you could be honest with them and that they would love you and support you no matter what, and that everything would be fine and dandy, and that being honest would open more doors in the relationship. Like, I'd love to be able to say that, and that might be true. That might be true for a lot of people. I can't say that with 100% confidence because I know even with my own family, that's not really how it is. Like with my family, I'm open with them about being an atheist, but we don't talk about it. We have a boundary pretty carefully set where we don't talk about religion because I care, and I think my family cares more about our relationship and keeping those bridges than we do about arguing about the things we disagree about. So we've decided for our situation to agree to disagree, and I don't think it's ideal. I don't want it to be the case. You might find with your family that being honest might help you maintain a more genuine relationship, but that also might not be the case. And if you do think that your family would be absolutely guilt-ridden, because that's a concern I have with my own family too, is knowing that my family they probably pray frequently and grieve the fact that they might not see me in heaven someday. And that's a very real concern from them. And so I can empathize with if you don't want to put them through that. I don't think that there's a set right answer for how to handle this. I think you need to weigh out what you want your relationship with your family to look like and kind of where you want to draw those boundaries. I don't think pretending to be religious is necessarily wrong. Like I think like ideally, sure, you don't want to lie to people, but I do feel like there are times when concealing a little bit of the truth to maintain a relationship might be the right answer, and you have to weigh that out for yourself. Jimmy, any thoughts?
Along with what Ben said about weighing what your relationship might look like, you also have to consider maybe your own mental health. If you actually absolutely get to a point where you just can't live like this anymore and you have to be honest, well, that's a line that you have to draw, and that's a situation that you yourself have to confront. And if you have principles that don't allow you to tell the lie anymore, well, then you're in a different circumstance. It's going to require you to make some hard decisions, and it might not be easy. So just be cognizant of that.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope that was helpful for you.